interviews by artists who say things like, I never go anywhere without my sketchbook and paint box because I never know when the inspiration might strike. And you think, well, lovely, but how do you carry it all? Stick with me and I am going to show you the smallest paint box in the world. My name's Liz Chatterton. I'm a professional artist based in Berkshire, and every week I bring you a tip, trick or technique that I wish someone had told me when I started painting. And this week it's all about the tiniest paint box I've managed to find. So you might think, oh yeah, it'd be lovely just to sit and sketch. The world goes by while I'm on holiday, while I'm eating an ice cream, or I don't know, you arrive at a meeting 10 minutes early and you think, oh yeah, I could spend those minutes, drawing rather than scrolling through YouTube, for example. But with the best will in the world, do you want to be carrying your paint box around with you? I mean, I've got all sorts of paint boxes, but none of them are exactly convenient. I mean, this is great, but it's awful paint. And even that's heavy to carry. So, let me introduce you to the smallest paint box in the world that I can think of. And it's this. It's simply a bit of old watercolour paper that I have scribbled really dense patches of watercolour pencils on, and then I can pick up the colour and paint with it. So, I mean, it's so simple. So, a bit of watercolour paper, and then think about what colours you want to have with you. So, you probably want your primaries. So, maybe a couple of yellows. Then you might, of course, want a red. Maybe a sort of cooler red. Always handy to have a couple of options. Let's think blues, of course. Depending where you are. Hopefully your skies are blue. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're a bit stormier. Quite handy to have a couple of neutrals. Something like, burnt sienna is always handy. And maybe a pre-mixed green. And I'm just putting dense patches of that colour down. And then we all know the one that's so hard to mix is pink. And then you're out sketching. You might have used pencil, you might have used pen. Use a little water brush. You've got the water in there. Squeeze it. I'll just clean that off. And then you can pick up the colour and paint with it. These that I'm using are Inktense. You can use any watercolour pencil. I do find these are particularly bright and they're nice and soft for putting down these dense patches. You might want a bit of kitchen towel with you so that you can clean your brush off. I usually end up just wiping it on my skirt, but that's because I'm a mucky pup. But there you go, the very smallest paint box in the world.